What is up, coordinators and naturals? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are starting our adventures into the manga Mobile Suit Gundam CE 73 Delta Astray. In this episode we will learn more about the Martian Agnes as he leaves Mars and tours Earth right as the Second Alliance Plant War breaks out. This is not only the follow-up to Destiny Astray, but also a compendium for Mobile Suit Gundam CE 73 Stargazer. So I would definitely check out that video as a compendium to this video. Let's not waste any time, and let's get into this. What do these young men of Mars see in this pure and blue world? Will they open the door to destruction? The seeds of a new destiny are sown. Insert sperm joke here. Baltroa, outside of the Earth sphere, there is a DSSD supply station. A ship called the Acidalium is docking with the station. Nahi Herschel is helming the ship. He notes that since the fall of Junia 7, security has been tight everywhere. The Acidalium is an interplanetary transport ship that was built by the Australis colony on Mars. Its main feature is its interplanetary sailing unit, which contains a quadruple thermonuclear pulse thruster, which is 3 times the size of the Acidalium proper. It also has a positron blaster cannon. The ship also has 12 3-tube missile launchers, as well as 12 5-barrel CIWSs. They are exchanging rare Mars metals in exchange for supplies, including delicious Earth foods. In the captain's seat is Agnes. The wiki refers to him as Ergnus, but I'm on Zionic Scantilation's side on this one. I am calling him Agnes. He is quite hot-headed. He also has a sister that we have met in the CE universe already. If you know, don't spoil it, but the hair kind of gives it away. Herschel calms him down. They make their landing on the station. Zaft's relief forces are currently at the station as well. Tensions are high indeed. But remember, DSSD is a joint operation between Zaft and EA as well as others. It is more or less a neutral operation, like the Junk Guild. Agnes looks at the Zaft occupation of this station and proclaims that he will not let this hatred spread to Mars. They tried to get a meeting with Durendal, not thinking it would happen, but he actually agreed to a meeting. They head out to the plants. Herschel mentions that many Mars civilians are coordinators, so they have a strong relationship with Zaft. They meet with Durendal. He says he is busy but couldn't give up an opportunity to talk to travelers from afar. He continues on and tells the two that he is very interested in their Australis colony, which seemed to create their own form of government. Agnes gets ahead of this and yells at Durendal, stating that Mars is not a playground. Durendal states that he is simply genuinely interested in their process. He apologizes for intruding and makes his departure, but says they are always welcome. As Agnes and Herschel are leaving, they run into Lacus Klein. We of course know this as Mir Campbell, pretending to be Lacus. A Zaft soldier comes running towards the two. It seems that the Alliance has declared war and they need to come with him. He tells the Martians that the Alliance have already launched forces from the moon. The hot-headed Agnes goes off and demands to see the chairman. He suits up and asks Durendal if he could sortie. Herschel tells Agnes that these are matters between Earth and Zaft and they shouldn't get involved. But of course, Agnes isn't having any of it. He launches in his Delta Astray. The GSF YAM-01 Delta Astray is considered the first mobile suit built by the Martians. And by built by the Martians, I mean they assisted while Low of the Junk Guild did most of the work, let's be real. This is why this unit has the moniker Astray. It utilizes data from the Red Frame and the Dreadnought H, and has its own operating system that utilizes the Vulture Lumiere propulsion system. We've seen this on Destiny, Strike Freedom, and Stargazer, but when this version is activated, it creates a light effect known as Wings of Light, and like the Stargazer, makes this unit a speed demon. The Gundam acronym stands for Generation Unsubdued Nuclear Drive Assault Module Complete. Ugh. He launches in the Delta Astray. He catches up to a Zaft fleet. It just so happens to be Izak, Diarca, and their team. Izak, being a hothead as well, butt heads with Agnes for a panel or two, but he authenticates his mobile suit for Zaft so they don't accidentally shoot him down. Agnes heads out with Izak's team. He activates the Wings of Light. Herschel comes in on the comms and tells Agnes that they are running into a trap. Agnes looks behind him to see nukes exploding around the plants. This, of course, is EA EA's attack on Aprilius 1 post-Break the World incident. The Alliance sent out Windoms carrying nukes, but of course, this is stopped by the Neutron Stampeder. The battle wages on, and Agnes takes part in war for the first time. The Ocidalium is heading towards Earth. We flash back to Herschel and Agnes talking to Durendal about trying to meet up with the Alliance. Durendal gives the Martians Isaac Mao to help them make contact. We have seen Isaac show up in Gundam Seed. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah, there he is. It's this guy. Didn't you want to know the backstory behind this guy? Well, here you go. They make it into Earth orbit and land towards an Alliance-occupied town. They are worried that this is not a good idea, but Agnes has his sights on meeting with the Alliance. We cut to the team in their mobile suits. We talked about Delta Astray, but Herschel is piloting the Mars tank. The GSW M02 Mars tank is more of a mobile worker. It is made for utility and not for battle, and can fly in Mars' atmosphere. However, it does have some sort of beam weapon, as we will see later, but I don't believe it is on the level of a positron cannon like the Lohengrin. Isaac is also piloting the Kerberos Baku Hound. See our Stargazer video for more on this unit. EA soldiers take them to their commanding officer, but they must not go any further with their mobile suits. Agnes goes and meets Lieutenant Colonel Zhao Qin of the 81st Independent Mobile Battalion. Of course, this battalion is known more by the name Phantom Pain. Out of the corner of the room is Phantom Pain member Sven. He is the pilot of the Strike Noir. Sven shoots Agnes. When Agnes wakes up, he is being interrogated by the Colonel and Sven. They want to know what the weapon was that Zaft used to destroy all of the Alliance's nukes. He doesn't give him any information, nor does he actually know any information, and yells at the Colonel. He tells Sven to kill him. And with impeccable timing, the Mars tank uses its beam weapon on the Phantom Pain headquarters. Agnes literally does a backflip and then snaps the guy's neck.
Anyway, so then the secret agent guy did a backflip and snapped the bad guy's neck and saved the day.
He runs out and gets back into his Gundam. They are met by Phantom Pain members Shams in the Verde Buster Gundam and Buddy Holcroft in the Blue Duel Gundam. They begin fighting, but Shams decides to go for the Acidalium. Herschel heads back to the ship while Agnes continues battling. He activates the Vulture Lumiere system, and Phantom Pain are not able to get the Gundam in their sights. Herschel tells Agnes that Phantom Pain members' brains have been tampered with and they fight with no soul. Agnes says, how can one fight if you have nothing to fight for? Agnes says that there is no hope for the Alliance. All that is left is Orb and Kira Yamato. They head towards Orb. Isaac is still complaining, but Herschel says he should understand Agnes's hot-headedness by now. They get intel that the Minerva was attacked and seeked refuge at Orb, only to be attacked when they left. Isaac mentions that Orb is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it is only a matter of time until they have to align themselves with the Alliance. As a Zaft soldier, he doesn't want to disembark the ship while docked at Orb. They reach Orb and meet with the princess herself, Kigali Yuna Atha. They are happy to meet, and she says that they could use any allies at the moment. She also mentions it's her wedding day. Orb helps by resupplying and fixing the Acidalias. The Martians head out to the city. Later on the Takamikazuchi, Captain Tadaka shows the Martians their latest tech. You remember Captain Tadaka? One of these mobile suits that we never really talked about in our Destiny coverage is the Astray Shrike. Shriek? Shrike. Shrike. Not Strike. Shrike. The M1 Astray Shrike is an M1 Astray with the EF-24R Shrike pack, which allows the mobile suit to fly in Earth atmosphere. Because Orb relies heavily on the sea, this unit has the ability to do a vertical takeoff with ease. Besides the backpack, this is a standard M1 Astray with Vulcans, 2 beam sabers, a beam rifle, and a shield. Tadaka also shows off the new Murasame and notes that they have a small batch of M1 Astrays designed specifically for space as well. The Martians watch as the Murasame transforms into a mobile suit. They never thought Terrans would have such tech. The Martians look out at Orb's mass driver. It seems they can't find Kira Yamato anywhere on Orb. They assume if he was here, he probably left. They head back to Morgenrot. Some engineers are updating the mobile suit's OS to adapt to Earth atmosphere. It is fitting, as this is the home of the Astray. He then notes that his Gundam isn't even an Astray. It's just a name given by that Junk Guild member. Of course, he is referring to Lo. Herschel sees a black and gold mobile suit docked as well. A technician mentions that it belongs to a guest of Kigali's wedding. Of course, this is Rondo making her respects to the Atha family as the head of one of the Orb royal families. One mentions that the wedding just started. Suddenly, alarms go off. They think it is terrorists, and Agnes launches in his Gundam. He doesn't know that this terrorist just so happens to be the chosen one that he was looking for. As he heads out, Kira does the Jesus special. You know what I'm talking about. Delta Astray is hit. As he goes to attack, he is stopped by Rondo in the gold frame. She stops him from saving Kigali. Agnes wants to protect Orb at any cost, even if it means attacking Rondo. Rondo convinces him that he isn't fighting for Kigali in this moment, but rather fighting for an idea that perhaps Kigali represents. She says that perhaps he is projecting because he too wants his people to live the way they deem best for their community. This seems to stop Agnes. What is interesting about this situation is that it seems Rondo wants Kira to take Kigali. As she wasn't really around during Gundam Seed Destiny, we know that she doesn't agree with the royal families currently, which is exactly the same position Kigali is in. Remember, it may seem like she is completely detached, but Rondo too cares deeply about the nation of Orb. It seems she wants Gundam Seed Destiny to play out. Ew. We cap off this episode with a mini chapter of a flashback at a factory on Australis colony on Mars. Lo and Kisato are still on Mars during this time. Kisato brings Lo lunch. He has been tasked by the Martians to create the Delta Astray. Lo goes on a rant about not siloing his mobile suit into one utility before ever using it. He gives a little bit of exposition on the history of the Astray units. Of course, Agnes says that's not how Martians do it. As Lo and the Martians banter, another Martian, Diego Lowell, is eavesdropping on their conversation. Kisato goes on to talk about missing Earth food. Agnes mentions that he misses his sister, but Herschel says he just misses her cooking. In 3 days, Delta Astray will be ready to go, and Lo will be on his way back to Earth. The chapter ends with a narration stating that at this time, Lo still didn't know that upon his arrival to Earth, he would pick up a girl in the vicinities of Armory 1, and that girl would prepare him delicious Martian dishes. Yes, that is right. Satona Winters is Agnes's sister, and she is in fact a Martian. And that will do it for this first dive into Delta Astray. As you can see, this series will heavily lean on the lore of Stargazer, so I highly recommend checking out that video before watching this one. The Martians are starting to realize that the Terrans are constantly prone to war, but will Agnes let it get to him? In our next episode, Rondo and the Martians have a long talk. We meet some new members of Phantom Pain, as well as learn more about the Strike E and its variants. But that will do it for now, coordinators. Remember, if you have a thriving colony on Mars, free of war, would you want to come back to Earth? I know I wouldn't, especially in the cosmic era. Nukes everywhere. Peace.